Gave us some really good minutes on both ends. Used his athleticism, got out on the break. Braden made that one pass to him for a lob, but I thought he did some good things defensively, more than anything. I didn't think Trey had a very good first half. I thought he was, touching and hitting a lot of basketballs, but not getting them. I thought in the second half he was just more sure of himself and just played the game and, strong and got rebounds and really helped us. Really helped us get off to that start. And he's a threat down there. We need him to be a threat on the block, especially when they're giving so much attention to Zach.
Right here.
Coach Justin Abershow with the Sports Capital Journalism. You guys were super aggressive in the second half defensively. I mean, how does that build confidence for you guys going into the rest of the tournament?
Yeah, I didn't think our attention to detail was great in the first half. They got away from us a little bit, got some space. We wanted to keep them off the side to kind of open up. We wanted to try to box them in as much as possible. They were doing a good job when we did that of getting that separation. In the second half, I thought we did a much better job with that. And, for us, we play a lot of position defense. And we're trying to keep the ball out of the paint. But if you're going to play position defense, you got to keep the ball out of the paint because that's the whole purpose of it. And our guys did a really good job in that second half. But, if we can't get stops, we can't run. And right as we had that start of the second half where we got stops 8 out of 9 possessions, it really allowed us to push the basketball and then be able to flow into motion if we didn't get something in transition.
Right here.
Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Braden, you started the game very hot. You had three-pointers in the first 8 minutes of the game. And then with 12 minutes to go in the second half, I sent out a tweet that you hadn't scored since, and you immediately scored right after that, of course. But did you consciously switch into the assist mode instead of the scoring mode?
I just think I had some threes there in the second half, and they didn't fall. I think I was like 0 for 6 right there in the second half. So I think just trying to get the other guys the ball, and we pushed it in transition. We had probably 6 or 7 possessions in a row where we just kept going. So I found Cam on a couple of them, just shooters running. So being able to kind of have that kind of makes it easier for me, and I just try to get them the ball.
Right here.
Hey, Greg Doyle from the Indy Star. I got one for each of you. Braden, you first, and then Zach. Braden, you were just pounding the ball to Zach early on and all game long, but they were singling him. Is that kind of, that's obviously the method, right? If they're singling Zach, you're just going to throw it to him until they stop?
For sure. Personally, I'd send 2 or 3 guys, but so we just try to get him the ball, and then he makes really good decisions, whether that's him scoring or him kicking it out to us, and we'll make the play. So,
30 and 20, something like that, 31-21, whatever you did tonight, to do it on this stage. You've done a lot of things, but 30-20 is pretty rare anywhere but here. Can you just expound maybe on, you look at the box score, what do you think when you see those numbers?
You say it's like a big stage, but it's just basketball at the end of the day. I kind of came out trying to set the tone, trying to play as hard as I can, try to send a message to the team, like we're here, we're ready, we're good. Send a message to the country, like we're good. And that's kind of how it played out.
Yeah, right here.
Zach, Ben Baby with ESPN. Y'all waited a year to kind of get this moment back to be the 1 seed again. What was it like to kind of be able to have the kind of win you did and to have the performance you did given all of the waiting to get back here?
We just did what we were supposed to do. I don't think anybody on this team wants any praise for it. We don't expect any praise for it. We did what we were supposed to do, and we're on to the next game now.
Right here in front.
Hey, Chris Demersion, KSLA TV out of Shreveport. Hey, Zach, obviously, were you anticipating something Grambling was doing defensively in order for you to kind of get in the groove you were able to get into?
Yeah, we knew they were a team that didn't like to double. We weren't sure if they were going to try to throw in a double on a 2-day scout. They liked to stay one-on-one, and we, like you saw, we got the ball to me a lot.
Right here.
Greg Braggs, Boilers in the stands. Matt, Grambling was doing a nice job of hitting that mid-range game. What goes into making that shot difficult on the other team?
Yeah, I thought they were getting us a little bit too much space for us in the first half. They don't shoot a high volume of threes, and that's what we wanted. We want tough twos. Analytically, it just makes sense. If you can stop their layups and their dunks and their rhythm threes, trying to get as many contested tough twos as possible. And the one thing about it is if you're staying out of rotations and they're getting tough twos, you got good rebound balance. So it just trickles into your transition offense. And you just can't get frustrated. Sometimes guys, They'll get frustrated offensively when they take good shots and they miss them, and they shouldn't, because it's a good shot and they'll make a good number of them. But when guys take tough shots, especially when they're twos and they're from 17 feet that's contested, like, you shouldn't get frustrated about it. Just keep doing it, keep making them shoot them, but because the law of averages is going to say that they're going to miss their fair share.
Right here.
Right here, Matt Dillonson from the Journal-Gazette in Fort Wayne. Matt, I guess you talked all year about working to get back to this exact spot. How did you think your team handled it now that you got back here?
I think they were fine. The hardest thing is just, being asked questions, more than anything. I know you're just doing your job because it happened, but for us, we just want to practice and watch film and have a good time and get ready for the games. But it's part of it, and it's part of going through it. And I think anytime you have adversity, it can make you stronger. And I think it's made us more mentally, tough as a team. But you got to play to your strengths. And the one thing that happens is different opponents are going to try different things and try to keep you away from your strengths. And it's just kind of part of it. But we'll see here in this next game. But no, just handling, everything throughout the year. For us, like, we played one of the best schedules in the country. We're one of the best leagues in the country. So we've been challenged. We've been playing, but this is what we get judged on. But you can't forget to have fun, and you can't forget to go out there and compete and just lay it on the line. Like, that's it, like Zach said, it's a basketball game. Like, go out there and have some fun with it. And we've worked real hard to be here, but keep everything in perspective.
Right here.
Coach Dave Reinhardt, WCBK Radio. Talking about having fun, Carson, local kid, comes in off the bench and even knocks down a three. Some of your thoughts on a special thing like that happening in a stage like this?
Yeah, it's really hard, especially when you sub in with guys that are cold. And I told him, don't do anything stupid. When you get out there, because you don't have a guy like Braden who's been out there for 2 hours running around to help you. You got 5 guys that are cold. Like, move the basketball, pass the basketball, get it going a little bit. You try to do too much, and you've been sitting there. They've been sitting there like you guys have. You know what I mean? Think about if you just got thrown into a game and you had to go do something. So it's a hard thing. But anytime those guys get to play, man, they're great. They help us so much in practice. They do a lot of things. But for Carson, obviously being from Lafayette, it's pretty cool. I played with his dad in college, and for him to come here and be able to play at Purdue and be able to go there, and he'll do anything, to help our program. And so for him to get rewarded and knock down a 3 in an NCAA tournament game is pretty cool.
We've got time for a few more. So right here.
Kyle Neddenrip, Indy Star. Matt, what as far as Braden's play from last year to this year, what's been his biggest improvement?
I think more than anything, not really an improvement as much as just kind of an approach to try to score the basketball. Like, we need him to score the basketball. He gets frustrated when he misses. He's had some games where he's missed, 10 shots in a game, and it frustrates the shit out of him. And we're always, we're constantly telling him, you got to shoot the basketball. You got to shoot the basketball. Depends on what people do. If we can get him more in transition, sometimes if people want to hedge high, getting outside of it, or getting people in drops to get to his pull up. So you're going to have more opportunities depending on how, they want to defend him and they want to defend us. But just trying to keep him aggressive, I think that's the number one thing more than anything, kind of treating it like high school. There's a lot of guys you coach you don't want to say that to. Like, don't treat it like high school, right? But like for him, that's part of his superpower is really trying to be aggressive in those moments.
Got time for 2 more right here.
Hey, Matt. Jerry Palm, CBS Sports. Have you had a chance to look ahead at all at Utah State or TCU? And if you have, what are the differences, the main differences between those two?
I have not. No. I mean, I watched TCU during the season a couple times just randomly, but I wouldn't know. I keep it one game at a time. Now, those guys go, if you want to go interview my assistants, they go ahead and watch, but I don't let them talk to me about a game. We focused on Grambling State.
And final question.
Matt, down here. For Hammer and Rails, Ryan Bonaparte, Braden and Zach, you've worked incredibly hard to pick your location for this game. How advantageous was it to be in front of this crowd in Indianapolis?
Well, it was great, especially when they got into the stands. Like, you're starting a game and people are filing in. Like, it's kind of surreal, right? Like, you would think you start a game and, everyone's going to be there. It's like a major city crowd, right? Like going to L.A. to an event, or people show up by the 4th inning. But, no, I always say that because, we've had, how many sellouts have we had? Like 72 sellouts in a row. whatever. I don't know the actual number, but I always talk about it like we have great fans, but we got to give them something to cheer about. And you can, be in Indianapolis, you can have all your fans that you want, but if you don't give them something to cheer about, they can't help you. So you got to play the right way, and you got to be tough on defense, and and that's our goal, to go out there, and we've put ourselves in a good position, but you still got to, do the little things and execute and help that out. Now you have an advantage when you play the right way and you do things the right way.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, fellas. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.